Hey, this is Notser, and we're talking Roma. Dev blog post, a nerf is coming. Sigma is going from 1.9 to 1.8. Now, that's not crazy. That's not unheard of. It's a small change, considering how many changes they could make to premiums between the time that they release them and the time that they're actually available for purchase. But what does it actually do to the ship? Well, Sigma is a modifier to encourage the shell to go towards the center of the maximum dispersion window. And the maximum dispersion is a combination of horizontal and vertical, and this is something that they tweak significantly between a host of ships. It really is something that should be shared in the UI, because it is very different depending on the ship. Now, the Roma has crazy horizontal dispersion. Its vertical dispersion is pretty good, but its horizontal is where it really is crazy. And that's exciting. That's very unique. And going from 1.9 to 1.8 is just not going to impact it as much as some of the comments that I read. They're like, oh, this goes from a ship that I must buy to a ship I would never touch. And it's just like, no, it's not that significant. It's probably equivalent to taking a torpedo reload from 90 seconds to 87 seconds, 85 seconds. Yes, it is a nerf, and yes, you could technically see the nerf, but you're not going to feel it in your moment-to-moment gameplay. Most of the time, in your torpedo systems, you are waiting to get into a good position. You are not absolutely 100% ready to go the second the torpedoes are reloaded. And that's what it feels like going from 1.9 to 1.8. 1 in 50 shots is going to be less accurate. It's just going to be a couple pixels off. But, how many shots do we make where that 1 in 50 shell was the difference between you killing a target and the game being a loss or something like that? That just doesn't happen. It could be the difference between the shell hitting the target and not, but we're not talking about a crazy adjustment. So don't look at it like, oh, it ruins the ship. It's still going to be a fantastic ship. I really enjoy its attributes. Fast turret traverse, great camouflage, very maneuverable. It's attractive too, and it's got pretty good accuracy for its range. Its range is an issue. It is a weak point. There's no denying that. But it's fun to play, and for someone like me, who maneuvers probably in an excessive amount, I never feel like I'm waiting on the guns. And I definitely feel that way when I play my Japanese, but that's part of their design. But sometimes I don't like that. Playing my old Mogami 155, I would just gouge my eyes out because I had to wait on the slow turrets traversing. I don't have to do that anymore. And I definitely don't have to do that with the Roma. So, great concealment, really fast turret traverse. The gun caliber is pretty weak. 380, 381 is a small gun caliber, but it can hit shots whenever you fire it. And as long as you put yourself in a position to succeed, no issue with it whatsoever. Now, where does this change come from? I didn't feel like I was super dominant in my games. I wasn't getting 200, 300, 400 damage per game. I honestly think this change is coming from the Tier 5 Italian battleship, where I believe it is outperforming slightly. It probably has a 54-55% win rate, and that's a little too high. Unfortunately, it's a premium though, so they can't make changes to it. At least based on their policy. I disagree with this policy. I think you just accept that people want a refund, but for the good of the game, you make the most balanced version of whatever premium. That's what I would prefer, but that's not the way the game is working. So it's better to get ahead of this and to tweak it. The small number could be the difference between 1% win rate or 2% win rate and bring it into line with all the other battleships. It could just barely be outperforming them, just barely. And if you could slightly tweak it, rather than make a big change, like changing the identity of the turrets to be super slow, that's a better change because it keeps the identity of the ship, and we already know that the community contributors enjoy it. They love it. I have not heard a single community contributor go, yeah, the Roma, totally overrated. Who would like that ship? No, it's pretty much like, wow, this is a great premium. I'm really enjoying my time with it. I can't wait for it to come out. And that's great. So I think this is response to the Tier 5. I think the Tier 5 is a little too good. Granted, I think the competition is a little too bad. I think it would be better if a Tier 5 could compete against a Tier 6 and a Tier 7 battleship, but I'm not the one balancing the game. Wargaming is, so we'll see. We'll see. But Tier 8 is already really established, very competitive, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Tier 8 is going to be the rank season in like 3 months. This is going to be probably the most recent Tier 8 released, especially Battleship, and it can't be imbalanced. It has to be at least right with all the other ships. We've gone through the Tier 7 rank season. We can't have that ever again, Wargaming. We can't have a rank season where one little thing is completely broken. It ruins the experience for everyone. Tier 6 was vastly superior to Tier 7 because it didn't have to deal with all that bullcrap. Premium radar? Campiness? Come on, that's not fun. Tier 6 was way more enjoyable, and we know Tier 8 is very enjoyable. I expect this is the main reason why they don't want to, and they can always adjust it. If they need to, they can push it back up. They just can't push it down. So they're probably erring on the side of caution to make sure that the ship is right where it needs to be. If they want to buff it, they can bring it right back. And I think that's exactly what you need to do, Wargaming. Nobody's going to fault you for making a ship that's 50% or 51%, right there where everything else is. But they will absolutely get on your case if you release a premium, especially around the holidays, that is overpowered. They will. They'll call you pay to win. We all see what EA's going through right now. We don't need that. Don't need that at all. This is stuff that can like destroy games. Now, granted, is there really anything of value with Battlefront 2 to keep? No, not really, but make it average, make it competitive, maybe a little underpowered, then they can buff it. Make it overpowered, it's overpowered until they buff everything around it. So, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I'm curious to hear what you think of the Sigma change for the Roma based on the videos that you've seen and the comments by people who have the ship itself already. Do you want another Julia Chase today? I absolutely do, but I also feel like that ship is probably a little bit too good. Maybe I just enjoy it too much, but if this is the Italian line though, man, I think it will be my favorite Battleship line. Just the turret traverse, just the way the guns perform, I just like it, and it looks great. That's the only thing I'll be sad about. Will the barbershop be attached to the ship's base camouflage, or will it be baked into the premium camouflage? These are questions that need to be answered, and we just don't have enough time to answer them, right? Or we will eventually have them answered. I would like them answered now. So yeah, I hope this was enjoyable. I hope you can give me your opinion on what you think the Sigma change is for the ship itself. Are you more inclined, less inclined, or nothing's changed in your interest level for the ship? I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.